Hey guys, we all made it. Dr. K, we made it. uh, you know, just reflecting back on this whole process, I can honestly say I have a huge appreciation for everything that every one of us are giving back to our educational sites or our districts, and it's amazing to see teachers that are very passionate about their upbringings or what they come to find out, how our educational system desperately needs a reform. Um, but, we all understand it's about the students, it's about our stakeholders, it's about us, and that we continue to support each other and that we help develop a curriculum that's focused on the four C's and even the ABCs that we've talked about and been drilled in our heads for quite a while now. Not saying in a bad way, but it's good to know this stuff. We talk about the four C's, the 21st century learner, communication, critical thinking, creativity is a big one. Of course, collaboration, right? The ABCs, when I mentioned, we talk about affective, how are students being emotionally affected, how is their behavior being affected, and are they developing cognitively, right? And me being a physical education teacher, I really focus on students as a whole being. So I'm not looking at just can they do a push up or can they do a pull up. I'm really looking into you know, how are they being emotionally affected? Is their mood getting better? Is their behavior getting better? Are they developing cognitively wise? I'll have a day here and there for students to catch up on homework because I know how desperate they need it. I even do a homework club in the after school. Um, but to see how their thinking is getting better as well with all the physical activity that we do, it's awesome to see. So, um, in my area of expertise, I was discussing on physical literacy. For those of you that don't know what physical literacy, as I said before, looks at an individual as a whole. An individual must know the ABCs, basically, their emotions, their behavior, their cognitive abilities, and then they have to understand how the five related health, fitness concepts, meaning cardiovascular health, muscular strength, muscular endurance, uh, body fat percentages, and then flexibility. So we looked at that as a whole. And now think of this way though, other than I know we talk about body fat percentage, but not one of those ever talks about physical appearance. Okay. Physical appearance has just been a lie from the fitness community from the get go, right? We were fed this after World War II, I believe, to make sure we had troops ready to go, that they were action ready, right? We were in the draft, we were heavily needing soldiers. And so every kid that was above 15 years old had to be ready for the draft again. And so physical appearance was such a huge thing during that time. And it's been ever since. The fitness community has just jumped on it. And as much as, yeah, it's nice to have the biceps and the core and everything, that's not the case. If I need to be able to do a squat when I'm 55, I need to be able to pick up my niece and nephew without knee pain or ankle pain or back pain or shoulder pain, just any pain. Um, and so when you look at that and you study the five health related fitness concepts, they rarely talk about physical appearance. They'll show you how to gain, that physique that you like, but not once do they ever focus on that. And so, teaching young students that at the college level is hugely important because they get stuck into these. I mean, we're all fed it. And the moment you look at your Instagram feed or whatever, you'll see a guy with big old shoulders or, a girl with rock hard abs, and they think, oh, I need to be looking like that. No, it's not the case. No, it's not the case. You still need some body fat and you need to have a healthy level of about 20-25%. And, just helping them understand that, is huge and alone. It eliminates the stress of looking good. We can talk about heart rate. Resting heart rate needs to be anywhere between 60 and 70 beats the highest. And that means without any activity for the longest time. So physical literacy is something that is lacking. I can even see it with my peers and in my expertise area, which is physical education and kinesiology. We don't teach that enough. We just don't. And the curriculum has been so sports oriented because we want kids to find a sport that they like and that they understand that they can do these sports, lifelong, just like we want them to be lifelong learners. I want them to be lifelong activists in their life, being physically active for their life. Um, but we don't ever teach these concepts thoroughly. And so I saw that for myself and I was like, this needs to change. This needs to happen now because we're not setting these kids up for success in the future. Um, and so, as you can see, that's been really my driving force uh, behind my research. I know policies, right? I've learned my biases. I've learned areas that I need to change. I've learned how to be more adaptable, how to be, a more aware of myself. And in case as well, in return, I get to teach my students how to be aware of their biases and how do we eliminate that, or how do we come together and understand that we're all different. We have different, motor development levels, motor skill levels, and that we're here to help each other, and that we're here to learn, we're here to have fun, and we're here to play. We're also here to increase our cardiovascular health, right, which is the number one thing. um, but yeah, I mean, we get this. Physical literacy is all about the individual as a whole, right? So once we understand the health related concepts, we start building the routines, right? Routines are a plan in the case starts every 3 weeks. After 3 months, it becomes a routine. And after a year, it becomes a habit. So it's hard in the fitness world, in a sense, fitness world. I'm sorry I say that, but for students to really become physically literate. And 16 weeks to me is a decent enough time to help introduce it and get still college students on the right track and have the basic knowledge so they're not stressing out about what protein powder I need to take, or who's the best gym trainer in the area, or or how do I use the equipment at their own local school. I went to a college that was very lucky that had a free gym on campus. And as long as I was a student there, I was able to go. Um, Even if I was an online full-time online student, as long as I had my ID through them, I could go. And so, um, it's it's something that needs to be addressed definitely, and it needs to be addressed more at the middle school level because I know here in California we lack a lot of PE teachers at the elementary level, and it's starting to grow, but there's just still not enough. There's not enough to teach the young kids, and to me, I feel like the students in the eighth grade and seventh grade level will grasp it more in detail. Um, I mean, you can start with passion with the younger kids, but as they get older, I mean, they're going to follow what their parents do. So when it gets to middle school, we really have to start building that kind of community, and we can get every other teacher involved, English, math, whoever, and we just start defining what is a well-rounded student to us. Of course, math teacher is going to say, "Well, I want somebody that's really good in algebra." English teacher, I can guess somebody's going to be understanding their grammar. Okay, fine, but what is a well-rounded individual? That's what I'm looking at. That's what I want to see. Is it somebody that can handle stress very well? Is it somebody that can critically think problems out? Is it somebody that's able to build collaboration with their peers and communication skills? Somebody that's overly creative in producing products or producing answers for problems, right? That's what I'm more interested in. I get we have milestones for each grade level that we need to reach, standards we need to reach. I totally get that, but if our students don't know how to put that knowledge into play, we're not doing anything for them other than giving them the same amount of stress they're going to have when they go to college because of exams and in percentages. That's what they're mainly worried about is percentages. Why not grade them on skill level, right? Grade them on how well, in my case, how well can they throw a ball accurately? But while applying the terms or the cues that enable them to throw that ball, right? So now they're applying that knowledge, and I just don't hear that enough. I mean, maybe I'm wrong, and it could be in your guys' district, but to me in my district, I don't hear it enough. And I didn't hear it enough throughout my college experience until I got to Bradman, which was probably my best educational experience ever, from Bradman to now at UMass Global. Um, so yeah, I mean, I'm rambling on here, but as you can tell, my research and my exploration has been very interesting. It's been very exciting. I'm finding out what causes the stress levels to really increase, and it's honestly the higher population of students that are continuing to go to college. We've had such a huge demand back in 2008 for students to go to school. Entry level jobs are depleting year in, year out. So, kids are being forced to go to school and get an education and get a higher paying job because of it. Um, and so, as kids apply to schools, there's the stress of just getting into school. And then once they're college freshmen, it's the stress of finding a job. And now you're trying to pay for your tuition. And now you're trying to go on a full day schedule from, my day was 4 o'clock in the morning, go to work and go to school at 10, from 10 to like 3. And then from 3, go to my night job just to make sure I have money for gas and food. It was intense. That freshman year is intense. And we think we all can agree on that. Um, and so, I've found a lot of, information from where kids are looking to, what are their stress relievers, drugs, alcohol, night medicine. I mean, it's crazy. I mean, there's a good percentage of kids that do turn to fitness, but they don't know what they're doing. And that's where the physical literacy comes in, because now we have kids that are just throwing out their backs or destroying their shoulders, or are joining the whole cross fitness thing when their bodies are absolutely not ready for it, and they're just destroying themselves, and now they're wearing a knee brace as they walk around campus, or they got this big old arm elbow brace. It's just ridiculous. And so these kids don't understand what they put their bodies through, how to recover, how to eat. So that's where physical literacy is such a high demand for college freshmen. And again, I'm very passionate about this, so forgive me. um, and I think I do have a pretty good grasp on this, and it's gonna be a bigger issue down the road as I try to hopefully gain authority into it and really push the initiative, um, of physical literacy becoming its own course, for college students. Just like we have a computer literacy course, there needs to be a physical literacy course. Um, but overall, this process has made me a more passionate teacher, a more passionate learner, just a more passionate educator all the way around. I really hope that I can continue to gain expertise in this area, especially as technology starts to grow and grow. Um, and I get to continue to motivate my students, to motivate my peers, to motivate my administration, my district to make changes for the better, as well as hopefully, make some changes at the collegiate level, which is my ultimate goal. Um, but, for now, this is my level of expertise that I want to, you know, grow in. And hopefully one day I get the chance to do that. Hopefully I get a chance to take it to a college board. Hopefully I can go back to my alumni school, or, go back to my JC, wherever. But, hopefully change the name of the game and help students, parents, teachers, faculty, anybody that's a stakeholder understand the importance of physical literacy and how we need to develop everybody, as a whole individual. And a whole individual is somebody that understands themselves emotionally, behaviorally, cognitively, and they understand the effects of physical activity. They're not focusing on their body appearance. They're trying to get their heads right. That's what this is all about. We want to talk about mental health. Let's look at that. And so, for me, this is just the beginning, and I really hope I gain a lot more from this. And I probably will continue on with my studying and research beyond this paper. But for now, Dr. K, thank you so much for the feedback. Thank you guys for your feedback, and my peers and everybody. I really hope to enjoy your guys' papers next week. But for now, thank you again. This has been a life-changing experience, and I am more passionate for everything I do. Hope you guys have a great night. Thanks.